That's okay, Ms. Langston.
All right, your name is Nettie Langston?
Nettie Langston, and I was a Wilkinson.
Wilkinson, all right. And were you born and raised in that area? In Village Mills.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was your husband's name?
It's William Arthur Langston.
William Arthur Langston. Were you born on the same place that, let's say you've got a son living out there, not Bill, but what's the other one's? Max? Is this
No.
the area where you live?
No, I was born right in Village Mills.
Oh.
Yeah, right in Village Mills. This is, see, that's out.
Yes, that's on out that road.
Yeah.
And, you went to school there?
At Village.
At Village?
Mm-hmm.
May I ask how old you are? Do you mind telling me?
No, I don't mind. No, I'm 86. I was born in 1895.
1895, my goodness. Well, you do have a lot of history stored away then.
Well, I don't know anything much on what else happened around Village.
Well, how about your parents? Did your dad work in the mill or something?
He was an engineer. He worked for Kirby, you know, run the log train.
I see.
Haul logs into the mill.
Uh-huh. And your mother was a housewife?
Housewife.
And did you have any brothers and sisters?
I never had a sister. I had 4 brothers.
Did any of them work for the mill or?
Yeah, they did as they grew up, but they left. And they all made firemen. They went to Beaumont and went to,
Had to go to the big city?
yeah.
Well, that's kind of the way it is with these young boys. They have to go see the bright lights,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yes, and my oldest brother had his finger off, and he's what used to be called a trigger finger, you know. And
Yes.
during the First World War, they wouldn't let you join up for that finger off. But that's the trigger finger. But then later on, you see, during the other wars, they didn't care. They could use you someplace.
Right.
And he couldn't get in the service, so he went to work at the fire station. And they were short-handed there on account of the war. And he worked there all his life, and his other boy grew up where he got their job there, and they worked at the fire station.
Well, that's good. That's interesting to know. Where did your folks come from? Where were they from?
Well, my mother was born right near Village, and I don't know just where my daddy was born. It was close to Livingston, I believe. But they were all settlers of right around Village.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy worked there at Village for years. I think when he was a boy, maybe he rode logs down the creek. You know, they used to, instead of hauling them, well, they rode them into the creek and run them down to the river and then on into Beaumont to the sawmill.
That's what I was interested in finding out about. This was before the establishment then of the lumber mill there in Village.
Yeah, my parents were there.
Uh-huh.
My dad.
Well, I hadn't been able to get any history prior to the coming of the railroad and the mill, but now this is a clue I was looking for.
Well, I guess that was before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they run logs down the creek and into the river, you know, and then went on into Beaumont.
Mm-hmm. And that creek wasn't very big, was it?
Not like it is now.
See, that was quite a ride, I imagine, getting those logs worked down through all the debris, the jams and things, the fallen logs across it.
He was very young. His dad died when he was real young, and he went to work. He never had any schooling. He worked.
I guess rather than say they were farmers, most everybody had a little garden too.
Well, I don't know if they did. I never had heard anything about.
They were loggers then.
Yeah.
That was their living.
Yeah. That's the furthest back I remember hearing them saying about it.
Well, after the mill was established, could you tell me a little bit about, maybe you don't know, but I've been trying to find something about the black quarters. I understand there was an upper and a lower quarters on each side of the mill.
Yeah, the black quarters, they were out to the right of the, well, as that road goes out, past right by the old Nickel Church used to be. They had, that was quarters. And then they did live on the, there was some of them that lived back of the white front row, lived back on the other side. I hadn't thought about that before, but they did. There was some niggers that lived over on the opposite side, and some lived on the side that, where you go out to Wildwood. They had their church and everything back over there.
Someone had mentioned that they had a sort of a community hall where they had their gatherings. You know anything about that?
Well, they did have a hall back over out towards Wildwood, not too far from where the Wildwood Road is. There was a Negro church or hall or something there.
Now, this is sort of a delicate subject, but I'll ask anyway. Was there a red light district?
No, I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
Being a lady, you might not have been aware anyway.
Yeah. I might not have known about it. Yeah. I don't think so. I don't remember anything like that.
Now, do you remember anything about a pond that's out in the middle of the golf course now? I believe it was Milligan's Pond or some such name.
No. There's a pond there, all right, but I think the best I remember, they just hunted ducks there at the pond, and it was used, I don't think it was used for any sawmill purposes, not that I know of. The pond right where the old sawmill was, is where that artesian well is there, village.
Oh, is there an artesian well?
It's been there. I drank water out of it when I was going to school. In case, yeah, there's an artesian well there. Been there since I can remember.
Do you know where it, could you describe now where it?
Yes. And you don't know where the old sawmill was there?
Vaguely, just roughly.
Well, it's right, it's there close to the sawmill. It was right by the side of the sawmill.
It would be on the west side of the railroad track, of course.
Yeah, on the west side, yeah. And it's been there for all these years. I drank water out. That's why I went to school past that way and lived up in the upper end.
Oh, my goodness. And
it was still running the last I was there.
I had not heard about that.
Well, it's still running there.
Now, the mill pond, was it on the north side of the mill?
Yeah, it is.
Toward Woodville?
Well, it's on the west side.
Okay.
The west side of where the old sawmill was.
All right.
That was a mill pond where they rolled the logs from the cars, down into the pond, and then drew them up a chain into the mill.
I'm trying to do a little diorama or a layout, like with a model railroad with the little railroad tracks and all.
Yeah, there was a railroad track to haul the logs on, coming out by the sawmill, and then on that, they got the logs out east of where the village is now. The train road crossed the Chino roads, and went way out to the east. They haul logs from out in there. I don't know that they probably haul logs from the other side some too.
Yeah. This would be out there
in later years.
This is out where May Hoffman lives.
Out in that way.
Do you know anything about a pipeline when they pumped water from Hickory Creek up to the mill?
No, I don't believe I know anything about that, but I'm sure they did. Maybe before they had this artesian well.
When did you leave that area? Where did you live before you came here?
Village. I lived, my home's out there close to Wirewood now. It's just halfway between Billy's Mill and Wirewood. We lived there nearly 60 years ago.
Anyone living in it now?
No, I have relatives that build homes around out there, you know. Max and Nell, Langston, they live out there, and there's two granddaughters that live out there. They live in that.
But your house is vacant?
It's still there, no one living in it.
Any furnishings or anything in it?
Yeah, everything's in it. I've been gone 3 or 4 years now. I've been in here. I don't remember just how long I have been in here. But there's no one else lived in the house since I left. So I kept thinking I'd just go back. I never couldn't be able to go back, but they're afraid for me to.
You'd need someone living with you.
Yeah. Well, they said there's doctors and nurses handy down here. You know,
That's true. We've got the same problem living that far away in an emergency.
Yeah, that's right.
Goodness.
At my age, it could be an emergency. You know?
Who else lived around in that area besides the Langs? Let's see, you and the Vickers and the Crosbys.
Well, I don't know. I think that's about down up where the Crosbys lived. I don't know just who lives up there. The Crosbys lived there. But when we went out there and built, and there wasn't anybody out there. Right on that road, you know, where I think the post office is out there now. There's several houses out there.
Buster's.
One or two. One, I believe, out there when we built. Let's see, when we were out there. My baby, William's 60 years old now, and he wasn't, but I don't believe he was a year old when we built out there.
Well, that pretty well pinpoints it. Tells us about how long.
Yeah, I've been living out there. Because we moved out there when he was a baby.
Well, then you remember the Humble Camp.
Oh, yeah.
Could you tell me a little about that? I haven't found anybody who knows much about that.
Camp.
I know where it was.
Just where was it?
I'm going to say that it's sort of across the street from where the old depot was, roughly. I tell you where it was, the road that leads out to the cemetery. They changed the cemetery road when they built the Humble Camp.
That's where it was. So that place, that hadn't been too long ago. Well, I mean, not back when I was a child.
Well, I don't even remember the camp at all. Right now there's a little installation. The Exxon company's got a couple of buildings there, but no houses are left or anything.
They had a few houses. They never did have any houses there. They had their business office.
I didn't know just what all was there, but we've walked around that area and found paved streets and lots of shrubbery and that sort of thing, so that you could tell it had been used as living quarters in that area.
It seems like that hadn't been too many years ago that they had the whole camp there. And yes, they had several houses there.
Where's that pad? Oh, here it is. I've written a few questions down because I have such a terrible memory. Oh, yeah. I wanted to know, was there both a hotel and a boarding house in Village Mills?
I never knew of anything but the hotel. I guess maybe they called it a boarding house, or I don't know. There may have been a boarding house there before I remember. But just like the hotel's been there ever since I remember. We lived just across the tram track from the hotel.
Do you know who ran it, or were there different people at different
people.
times?
It was.
Someone had told me that Mary Nell, all I remember now is Wilkerson, I don't know her present name, that her father a Scotsman had run it for a while. Do you remember them?
Well, I was a Wilkinson, and I had a cousin named Nettie. No, I don't remember anything about that, but I guess maybe that was some of my relatives.
Mm-hmm.